Perez. Wilco makes a run ahead of him. Bergkamp suddenly changed pace through the centre. It's Bergkamp! That's magnificent! The move, and then this, which left Dabby's ass totally stranded.
Hello, dear viewer. We're back again with prediction number 30. And this time it's Andrew from the podcast From Dial Square to Where. And you've already figured out what your squad number 30, what player it is, haven't we?
Yeah, all the legends. Starting off with the most recent, Matt Turner, who's probably going to be leaving today.
It's not looking very promising for you number-wise. I'm very sorry about that. But the next person up has got Carl Hine, and that's not very good. Anyway, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, thank you. Thanks very much for having me back. It's been a long time, isn't it, since we've been talking to each other?
I had Michael Price from You Are My Arsenal on the other day, and he hadn't been on for 8 years.
Bloody hell. Jeez.
No, it's terrible.
Oh, congratulations are in order for your 10th year, by the way.
You would get that long for murder, apparently. So it's get less people watching now. We get less people watching in a month than we used to get for one show back in that day when there was 4 Arsenal podcasts. We get 40, 50,000 views per show. Now, you get 1,000, you're doing pretty good. So that's,
well, there's 400 to go around, isn't there, at the moment? So, you're still doing well, mate. Still doing well.
19 of them.
Yeah, mad.
I mean, who needs 219 podcasts? I asked the bloke who had a Sheffield United fan on the other day, and I said, how many Sheffield United fan podcasts are there? He went, there's quite a few. I think there's about 8 or 9. And I said, well, guess how many Arsenal ones there are? He said, I don't know, 20 or 30. I said, well, 219. That's just the ones I found. He said, fucking hell. That is quite a lot. Let's see what lazy buggers have joined us for the show. We have got Brady's Banana says hello. Phil Macker has been here for all of them, all 30 of them. You get a special scout badge now that you can sew to your lapel, Phil. Jim Eves gets that one as well. Paul Nell, well, he's nearly there. He's nearly been for all of them. And we've got somebody watching on Twitch called Obesity Balls 2. They look dead. Well, we can't be picky. A viewer is a viewer. So thank you very much, Mr. Obesity Balls.
That's a film I'd watch. Obesity Balls 2, I think.
It says, hi, grandpas. Are you a grandpa yet?
I'm not a grandpa yet. No.
I should be, because my daughter's 25, the cow, and she hasn't shit out any squidlings yet. So I'm still hoping. But she's only really attracted to dickheads, so that's really a good idea, is it? Because I'll end up in prison, and because she's like that. But they don't listen. They don't fucking listen to a word I say. And there you go. Boy 10's there, and Sight is there as well. So, how excited are you about yesterday's performance and how we tucked up Man City? They thought it was all over, but there was no people on the pitch, was there?
No. I mean, I was absolutely delighted, to be honest. And, I think the analysis of our players has gone too much in depth when you consider that we were playing the best team on the planet. And I think we kept them at arm's length. We we battled with them for the full 90 minutes on their level. And that's what the best thing about it for me was. I really enjoyed the fact that we competed. And I think overall, if it was a boxing match, we would have won on points because I think we were the better team. So you could tell exactly what it meant to all the players and all the staff and the manager. And you could tell what it meant to Man City as well. When they scored, they went mad. Pep was jumping up and down, running up and down the touchline. And the same when we scored with Arteta. It meant a lot to the players on the day, no matter what anyone thinks. And all the crap, you get from other teams saying, oh, look at them celebrating. I tell you what, if you put any team on the planet in front of 80,000 at Wembley against the best team on the planet and they won, I bet every single other team would do exactly the same as what we did. That's what football's about, isn't it? You go up against your rivals in front of 80,000 people at Wembley. You want to win. And when you do, you're going to celebrate. So I think it was just a wonderful performance all round, to be honest. I think every player yes, there were mistakes, but I think at the end of the day, every player needs a pat on the back for the way they competed. So I was really excited about it, to be honest. And me and my lads all watched it together, and we went mad when we won the game because it stopped a run of, I think it would have been 9 games on the trot that we would have lost against them. So just to stop that rot will give the team some belief that next time we step out on the pitch against them, we haven't got to have that inferiority complex. So I think it's going to do us a world of good to we can go up against any team and compete with them and beat the best.
Yes, and so that's now 1 FA Cup, 2 Charity Shields for Arteta, and that is more than Spurs have won in almost 20 years. So that's not too bad, is it?
No.
Do you think? Well, we'll find out with you. There's hope for you for more this season. B City Ball says, do you guys like the Foo Fighters? Well, I went to a steak restaurant in Cambridge a few weeks ago and they were playing the Foo Fighters and I asked them to turn it off and they did. The MTV, they have playlists and Foo Fighters and all those other skateboarding people are on there. I said, can you turn that off? And they put on stuff that was, I think it's Phil Collins and Genesis and stuff like that. And I thought, lovely, I'll have some of that. How about you?
I like a lot of their classic songs. I wouldn't sit and listen to a whole set of theirs, or sit and listen to loads of their CDs. Or, obviously, it's not CDs anymore. It's showing my age, isn't it? That's very much showing my age.
Vinyl out.
Yeah, exactly. I still like my vinyl. I'm not going to get rid of that. But no, I like a lot of their songs in small doses, shall we say?
I couldn't name a single song right near that lot. So, the way we were yesterday, and that's without our main striker, so Havertz. How were you impressed with Havertz and the way that he played in a position that he hadn't really done very well at with Chelsea? I mean, it's a slight alteration to that position, but the gist of it is he was meant to be our forward man for the whole of the game, and he could have scored a couple of goals, couldn't he?
Yeah. I was one of the people that actually predicted him to start in this role because I think he was brought to combat teams like Man City in lots of ways because of the way he holds the ball up. He does battle for the ball. He's not like the strongest player on the pitch, but he's not as weak as some people think as well. He can hold the ball up. He can win it in the air, and that's what he was doing right from the start, to be honest. And he's underrated for the way he sort of tracks down the ball. His pressing was really, really good. So I think he was really, really, really promising. Apart from those, couple of rusty shots that he had. I mean, the first one, I think that was the best he could have done. The way he controlled it brilliantly, spun, and the keeper made a good save. The second one, I think it was just a bit of rust, really. But apart from those two parts of the game, I think he was absolutely perfect for what we wanted. So very promising, to be honest.
Are you concerned by the number of players that we need to get out of the club? We've just heard today, or in the last hour or so, that Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Conservative, has signed for Lyon. I think Lacazette had his sticky hands all over that. Like you were saying earlier, Matt Turner looks like he's going to sign for Nottingham Forest. But there's still a hell of a lot of players we need to get rid of, isn't there?
Yeah. I think that's all it's not all going to happen at the end of the window, but most of the ones that we think that we need to get rid of are the type of players that do move at the end of the window. Your Rob Holdings, Cedric's, people like that. I think Cedric is almost certainly going to get his contract cancelled. I don't think anyone's going to pay an actual fee for him. Same with Pepe, sadly. He's almost certainly going to go to somewhere in Turkey, it looks like. Mm-hmm. I think Fenerbahce just come in for him now as well. But again, I think they're expecting us to cancel his contract. Balogun, I've been really, really disappointed with his attitude this summer. I think he's a really good player. I think I would have loved to have seen him have a chance. But the way that he came back and said, I ain't got nothing to prove to anyone. I mean, that's just not what Mikel Arteta wants, is it? So if we can get some money for him, I'm sure that he'll go at some point. I mean, teams all across Europe need strikers all the time. And I can't believe more teams haven't actually come in for him as yet. But they'll come out of the woodwork, I'm sure, and he'll go. And I think they're the main ones, aren't they, really? Holding, Cedric, Balogun, Kieran Tierney. I think unless someone comes in with a big offer for him, which in a way I hope they do, because I don't want to see him just sitting looking with his little sad face on the bench for the season. He's too good for that, isn't he? And even I think he's had a good pre-season. He's played nearly every game at some point. He hasn't started any, but he's played in pretty much every one. And whenever he's come on, I think he's done quite a good job. He's still got it, but he's just, obviously, as everyone knows, I'm just repeating what everyone else has said on different podcasts and so on, but he just doesn't fit our style, does he? And that's the main sticking point. So he may go, but I only think that's going to be, they're not going to give him away, that's for sure. Someone's going to have to come in with a good offer for him. But yeah, I think they're the main ones, aren't they, really, Danny?
Yeah, I think Timber, the way he played yesterday, it's like he's been playing left back for us for a couple of seasons. And Zinchenko's obviously Arteta's favourite, but I know he's annoyed the club by wanting to play in the Ukraine game. And they told him 5 minutes. I think he played 11, but he's been concentrating on that rather than pre-season with Arsenal, which that kind of stuff isn't going to go down well with the club or with Arteta. They may look to, I don't know, could you play Zinchenko? I mean, Zinchenko's been here for a season. He's never once not played on that inverted left side or left back. He's never played him as a defensive midfielder, because I think I've said it a few times that maybe I'd like to see him in the DM role when Partey wasn't playing, but Arteta hasn't done it. So I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, it's just sad to see Pepe go, because there was a highlight video of some of the stuff that he's done. And he does the sort of stuff that Saka does. Run down the right, cut in on the left, and curl the ball in top corner.
Yeah.
It doesn't fill you with confidence when he's playing, and that's a shame.
Well, it's funny. I heard someone else on a different podcast, and I can't credit them because I can't remember who it was now, but they mentioned João Felix joined Atletico Madrid the same time that Pepe joined Arsenal. And for some reason, they've managed to keep his value massively high, even though he's been a dreadful flop for them. And when you consider what Pepe did for us in his first full season, I know when he went on loan last season, he was injured for a lot of the time, so that affected his performances over in Nice. But I certainly don't think you can call him a flop during that first season. I thought he did quite well. His problem was, in lots of cases, obviously the manager who bought him, well, he didn't buy him, but Emery was given him, wasn't he? Even though he wanted Wilfried Zaha, but he got him instead. But then it coincided with the emergence of Saka. Obviously, Saka started at left back, but then when he started to just play, we knew that he had to be moved, and he moved into the Pepe's position. And then the other stab in the heart for him was when we went and brought Willian. After he finished the season brilliantly, he was probably the man of the match in the FA Cup final. I don't think anyone will argue with that. He played brilliantly. And then during that close season, he must have been on a high, expecting to come in to be a starter. And then Willian gets brought in. I mean, what can you do? I mean, I feel sorry for him. And I hope he goes on somewhere and becomes a big success, because I don't think he's done anything. He's never thrown his toys out the pram. He's never said anything bad in the press. He comes across as a nice, decent guy. And it just seems to be the wrong club at the wrong time for him, unfortunately. So it's sad the way it's worked out. But it's strange, isn't it, when you think about João Felix and the way that his value is still stayed really sky high, and we can't even give Pepe away at the moment. Very, very strange.
I just looked. He played 99 games in his first 2 seasons for us and scored 24 goals. That's not bad. Considering rubbish.
Well, when you consider his assists as well, if you add that in, he had some good numbers, you know.
He did. Let's go on and do your predictions then, shall we? Going to get the screen up, and then I won't be getting the screen up because I forgot to get the screen. I've got to go and get the tab. That's very professional of me, right? Now I'm going to try and get the screen up. Second time lucky. I've got 2 eager closing windows after the last show. I went a little bit mad. There we go. There it is. Lovely jubbly. And then pass down the bottom. So quite a few choices have already been made. So there's you. There's you. And just above Chris. So it's Andrew from FROMDIALSQUARE. Yet another person who's been mugged off by Elon Musk. We want more letters in our @ don't we?
No, we don't.
What? You want more letters? You can have from Dull Square to Where then, couldn't you?
No, yeah, I suppose so. But it's just a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? To be honest with you, I'm quite happy with From Dial Square. To be honest, I've been on it for 12 years now. I think my brain can't cope with changing my my @
That's true. I never thought of that. All right then, who are you going to have as the Premier League winners? Are you going to go somewhere other than Man City or Arsenal?
Nope. No, I'm going to go for Arsenal, obviously, because I'm an Arsenal fan. Massively confident about the season ahead. Yesterday's only sort of solidified the fact that we can step on the pitch, as I mentioned earlier, and compete with anyone. And we're only going to we've actually built the team to be stronger when it matters next April and May. We've seen the last 4 years how strong Declan Rice has been, the way he finishes the season. It's going to take him a little while to get going this season. It's like Elliot from the Arsenal Vision podcast said something very funny. He said he must feel like he's had the Matrix plugged into his brain the last 3 weeks since he's been with us, and he's like having to relearn football, like he said it himself. But can you imagine what it's going to be like once he gets going after Christmas, especially? And we've got the luxury at the moment of having Thomas Partey still at the club, who's been magnificent throughout pre-season again. So we haven't got to rush him, Declan Rice. We're not going to be, putting too much pressure on him from the word go. So he can ease himself into the team. And same with Kai Havertz, because we've got other players who can play in that position. And I just think we're going to get better and better throughout the season. So when it comes to the crunch time, where we've failed in the last 2 seasons, I've got so much confidence that that's not going to happen this year, because Declan Rice is just going to. That's when he really shows what he's worth. So yeah, I've got a lot of confidence that we're going to win the league this year. I don't know about what were your ones? What did you say, Danny?
Arsenal.
Yeah. Yes. Same reasons, I suppose.
Mine's partly delusional, but mostly self. But we are a much better team. But it's the things that stopped us winning the league last season have hopefully been resolved for this season with the players that we've bought, and it was just bad luck. And we've got backup in every position. We've got goals all over the pitch. We've got defensive players that can cover each other, and we've got covering midfielders. So with Trossard and Rice, and we've got probably one of the best teams we've had since the Invincible team. And
I agree.
They're going to go on and show that. So what have you got for Arsenal's top goal scorer at all competitions?
I've gone for Saka because he's going to play every game. And, he just had a wonderful season last season. He's only getting better and better. With what Arsene Wenger said to him, he said, when he asked Arsene Wenger how he can improve, and he said, well, use your right foot. And ever since that moment, he's just been banging him in with his right foot as well as his left, hasn't he? It's just gone from strength to strength. And who knows whether he's going to stay on penalties, but I don't think it's down to penalties anyway. We spread it around so much within our team. It is quite a hard one to answer, because obviously Martinelli got 15 league goals last season. Ødegaard got 15 league goals last season. And if we can keep Jesus fit for the rest of the season after he comes back, I mean, he's going to get a lot more goals than he did last season. But I just see Saka as being one of the best players in his position in the world football within the next couple of years. So I'm going to put all my faith in him and say that he's going to be our top scorer.
I've got a stalker. Lovely. Says he loves me. Or he,
wow.
Or she. I don't know what that is. Could be an alien. I hope it is an alien. Please take me away. I agree with everything that you said. So it is going to be close to all of those. But like you said, Saka's going to play every game. So he's probably going to be top scorer. Now, where's the scum from N17? Where are they going to finish?
I noticed. I'm a bit disappointed because I've seen all your spreadsheet, and most people have said exactly the same thing I was going to say. So I'm umming and ahhing as to whether I'm going to change it or not. But I put 8. But I put on Twitter at the end of last season, if it wasn't for Harry Kane, Spurs would have been relegated. They were that bad. And I'm not even joking. I think he physically kept them up himself with his goals. They were so bad, they couldn't buy a win towards the end of the season. They were only going one way. And I don't know how true it is, but I saw that they rejected Bayern Munich's final offer for Harry Kane. So it looks like he's going to be staying. It looks like he's going to be staying.
Yeah.
How that's going to affect him mentally now, because every single summer this happens to him. He wants to go.
Yeah.
They force him to stay. One of these days he's going to throw his toys out the pram, isn't he? And his crayons. And I'm just hoping that's going to happen. I'm hoping they're going to keep him behind, against his will. Put him on a chain throughout the week so he can't escape, and then release him onto the pitch at the weekend and just give him scraps of food and water throughout the week to keep him going. So I hope that's going to be the case. I'm going to say, because everyone else put 8th, I'm going to say 9th. I think he's their only good player, and they haven't strengthened the team properly this summer. They've only bought someone called Mickey, and then he's probably going to be like a Mickey Mouse type player, to be honest. And some third-rate goalkeeper. Of course they bought Maddison as well, but he needs some good players around him, and he hasn't got that, so he can't do it all on his own.
True, very true. I wonder, is my friend Corey Austin Canadian? Hello, Corey. I haven't heard from you for quite a while. I hope things are good with you. And Stan's turned up, and him, Stan and Phil are having a little chit chat about Stan's terrible diet. And so the next one is FA Cup winner and League Cup winner. What are you going to go for those?
Well, FA Cup, I'm going to go for Man City because they always win something throughout the season. They're not going to win the league because obviously they're against us, so no chance for that. And for the League Cup, I'm going for Villa because I think they're really improving under our old manager, Unai Emery. And I think they've bought well. They're actually buying very wisely, and they're buying some good players. I've seen them in pre-season in that American tournament. I can't remember what it was called, Premier League event or something. I don't know. And they look very impressive, to be fair. And I think they're going to win something under him. And there's going to be a sneaky outside bet for fourth place. I know it sounds crazy, but he genuinely gets his teams to qualify for Europe, doesn't he, Unai Emery? And they were very impressive last season. I think they've only got stronger this summer. Maybe not 4th, but maybe 5th. But yeah, I do fancy them for a cup, so I've put them down for the League Cup.
Well, I think I picked them for the League Cup as well. Yes, I did. And I put Newcastle for the FA Cup. So, yeah, some good choices there. Champions League winner. Is this just the obvious?
Arsenal.
Oh, I picked Arsenal.
Me and you were cut for the same cloth. I actually put... It's funny. It goes back to last season, Daddy. When I knew that we were going to qualify for this Champions League, I had a very, very vivid dream that Mikel Arteta would win it in his first season in charge.
Yeah.
And the first season in charge in the Champions League, I mean.
Yeah.
And nothing I've seen has made me change my mind. And I've actually put a bet on at, I think it was 14 or 15 to 1 that we're going to win the Champions League. So I've put my money where my mouth is. And not being funny, right? But across Europe, I don't fear anyone.
They're broke. They're all poverty, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, obviously you've got your usual Real Madrid, Barcelona. We can beat them. We just did last week or the week before. Bayern Munich. No one wants to go there apart from Harry Kane. Inter Milan got to the final last year, and they were dog shit, mate. And
they wouldn't finish mid-table in the Premier League, and I'm an Inter Milan fan.
No, absolutely. So why not? Why not? Why can't I'm quite happy to put my name down there and say we're going to win the Champions League.
Good, I agree with that. So a Premier League player, but all competitions top scorer. Can you see anyone other than Haaland?
No, he's just a robot, isn't he? Unless he gets injured, he's just going to run away with it again. Unfortunately, I can't see anything other than Haaland. So I'd be stupid to put anyone else really.
Winner of the championship.
I've gone for Southampton.
Ooh.
I think I watched the first game, and although they were pegged back, but I was quite impressed with them. I think they've still got a very good team, and if they can keep hold of their best players, I think they've got a better chance than Leicester. And I was umming and ahhing over them and Leicester. But I've just got a sneaky suspicion they're going to have a good season this year, Southampton, and surprise a few. And so, I'll put down them. What did you say for that?
I originally said Leicester, but then I saw that Leicester got a new manager and that some of their best players have gone. And then I realised I'd had a look, and Leeds have got the ex-Norwich manager, Daniel Farker, and he's already won that league twice.
Yeah.
And they've kept most of their decent players.
Yeah. But he's a good manager in that league. He's a good manager in that league, isn't he?
Yeah, I had a Leeds fan come on and they said they're going to finish first.
I can't see it personally. I don't think they've got the squad. But I think Southampton have bought well. They've bought some good young players, and they've got their recruitment guy was ex-Man City, and he's pulled a lot of good young players out of City and dragged them over there. And I think they're just in the Championship. I think they could just have a much better season this year. So I've just got a sneaking suspicion for them.
And how about the first Premier League manager to be fired?
It's going to be a sad one, but I think I agree with most people that you've asked. I think it's got to be David Moyes.
Yeah.
They've had a poor pre-season. They've got rid of their best player. They sold their star to Mikel Arteta. And no one wants to go there. They're trying to spend the money, but everyone knows they've got £100 million burning a hole in their pocket, and they're asking them for stupid amounts of money for players. And I've read just now, which has solidified my choice, that they've upped their offer for a certain Man United centre-back.
West Ham have?
Yeah.
He's not going to be the answer to their problems. He's going to be the cause of them.
Exactly.
What have they offered? More than 20 million they offered?
I don't know. I just saw it flash up on my phone saying West Ham increased their offer. So if they do that, then they've got no chance, have they? Harry Maguire, centre-back, and they're pinning all their hopes on him. And they're obviously going to get their trousers pulled down by Man United, because they know exactly what I just said. They know how much money they've got. So they've just sold Skamaka as well. He was their only half-decent striker. The other strikers they've got, apart from Bowen, are just old and slow. They've only got one way of playing. And, they've not significantly strengthened anywhere across the field this season, have they? So they just about stayed up last year. And I don't think they'll want to sack him because of what the silverware he brought them last season. But I think he's gonna really struggle this year. So I think he could be well be the first to go.
Very true. So just looking at your predictions, the only ones you made that could... No, don't think you've picked anything completely off your trolley. Arsenal to do the Premier League and Champions League. I mean, that's doable. Hopefully, I picked both of those. And everyone knows how much I know about football. So the rest of it all seems quite logical. So there you go. That's it. You're all done. Tell people about your podcast and anything you've got planned.
Yeah, it's called From Dial Square to Where, so go and give it a look. There's lots of good old shows you can look back on. I've had some good people on there in the past. Obviously yourself, Danny, as well. Yeah. But I've had some good people, like Kevin Campbell. I've had Nigel Winterburn on there. I've had a few. He was just moving house, so it was actually very difficult to get hold of him at that point. But my brain has just gone completely. I've had Graham Ricks on there in the past. I've had our old goalkeeping coach on there in the past. So I've had a few really good player people. I've had Bernard Butler, the old guitarist from Suede. Do you remember them?
Yeah, I've not seen that one. I don't really like music.
Bernard Butler is an Arsenal fanatic, one of the best guitarist the UK have ever produced.
Yeah,
absolutely wonderful guy. He's been on a few times. So go and have a look at the back catalogue. I'm not doing anything much at the moment, to be honest with you. I do a few crossover shows with Ryan quite often that we simulcast at the same time. But at the moment, life's getting in the way of doing a lot of regular podcasting. But go over there give it a subscribe and put the notifications on. So when I do get back into it, you can have a listen and you'll get notified.
Good. There you go. Yes, I do like to go and have a listen. I like the interviews with players. I don't think it's really. I know because Sophie and the Hybrid Squad had Jack Wilshere on, and it wasn't 100,000 views, which you'd think it would be 100,000 views. They've had Aaron Ramsdale's dad on the other day. And it annoys me that people don't want to hear from ex-players as much as I love hearing from ex-players. Like the ones you did were very good.
Graham Rix was wonderful. I think he was a real good guest to have. He's been on 2 or 3 times, he has.
I'm not sure if I've seen all of those, but it's his fault. I support SMCAEN, the French team. Caen, they're shit. I support them because that's where he went to play. Like I support Fortuna Cologne because that's where Tony Woodcock went to play.
Yeah,
There's quite a few of those other ones that I'm stuck with these teams, like Celtic because of Charlie Nicholas. That's where he come from. And so most of them, some of them have turned out to be all right. Some of them not good. I mean, Fortuna Cologne ended up shutting down. That's how good they were. I mean, that was after he left playing for Cologne. The main team, IFC Cologne, was it? The one that Podolski.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. And it's around a similar sort of time when Keegan was playing over for Hamburg, wasn't it?
Yeah,
similar sort of time. Because I saw Keegan play for Hamburg at Old Trafford when I was at the Bobby Charlton Soccer School for a week. I remember back in the day. That was our old thing. And they took us to Old Trafford, and it was Keegan's Hamburg that came over to play, and that was a really good experience.
What a player he was.
He won the Ballon d'Or 2 years on the trot, didn't he?
Yeah, it was one of those years with Hamburg.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, magnificent player. Right, there you go. That's us all done. 31 minutes, longer than most, but that gives me about 25 minutes to brace myself because up next is the Scumbag Carpenter. And that's going to be at 8 o'clock. And then at 10 o'clock, it's our very own Josh Dawes, Scores from the Doors, Josh Dawes, something like that. So finally, thank you very much for joining me, Andrew. It's been fun.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me. It's been great fun. Nice to talk to you again, mate. And thanks to everyone in the chat. And yes, McAlmont and Butler were wicked. Phil Macker.
What are they?
They did a song called Yes. Obviously, Butler part is Bernard Butler, who I was talking about from Suede. They did a great song called Yes back in the day. Give it a listen. It's wonderful.
I never listen to music, hardly ever. I know, sad times. All we need to do now is you to give a little cheeky wave to the boys and girls at home and say goodbye, and then I will end the show.
Tatty boy.
As soon as I scored that goal, I was fucking livid. Get down, dog. Splendid business.
You nearly caught the bloody thing. What are you talking about?
So I've just eaten a full quiche. Well, you don't often see them at Ibs, so when you see them in the supermarket, they need to be swagged, microwaved immediately, and get the brown sauce on them and bosh, Bob's your uncle.
Never in